So we discussed about what is Vastu yesterday. So specifically, if we discuss about the Vastu and why the modern Vastu has been introduced. See, the Vastu is one of the things which is very, very important nowadays, and we need to understand why Vastu is required. We know that wherever we are living, that particular house is going to have a certain energies, right? When we shift to any location or maybe any house or any place, we don't know that what is going to be the impact. And but there are some certain rules in Vastu which can very easily let you know what exactly the impact of particular house or a particular area, if it is covered or uncovered. Okay? Sometimes we think that okay, our neighbors are really following and taking up the Vastu consultation, so we must also take it, right? But it is not like that. Vastu is only going to work if you are having a house which is completely balanced. There are certain rules which we can really adapt, but the balancing of your home, a balancing of the energies, they are really important. Okay? That is what the Vastu is, the actual Vastu. Now we discussed about that how many type of Vastu we generally do, right? There are multiple type of Vastu. Generally, the Vastu has started with construction. The constructing a particular building or a bhavan, that will be also seen and analyzed with the help of Vastu. Vastu Shastra is been used right from the beginning when even the gods were there in this earth. We know that they have also lived in this earth, so they know they have even the superior Vastukars have constructed so many buildings for the gods, and even for the king, there are some Vastukars who has already built multiple structures, multiple houses. When we are thinking of a Vastu, we always think there is a possibility of remedy. So we know that remedial Vastu is one of the highlight nowadays that we should be learning of. And every people is behind remedial Vastu. They don't want to learn Vastu, they want to learn remedial Vastu. But the thing is, before learning Vastu or before learning a language, you always love to learn the alphabets. So that is why I believe that Vastu learning is important. Then only you should really jump to the remedial aspect of the Vastu. Because until unless you understand the backbone, how the things are working, why we are using that, you will be not able to do the actual remedy, because certain remedies are not going to work because you don't know the reason and you don't know the impact why we are doing such remedy on a particular direction. Okay? So those are important. Then we discussed about industrial Vastu. What is it? Okay. So we discussed that maybe a person is living in a home, he have a different attitude, and maybe when he is going to the office, he's going to maintain a different decorum, different rules, different behavior, right? So that means the necessity from a home and necessity from an industry or maybe a office is completely different. The rules may be same, but the uses are different. So that's why there is a different section of industrial Vastu which we may need to know as well. Then we discussed about okay, what is modern Vastu? So I already tried to stretch a little bit of story yesterday. When I was working as a cashier in one of the restaurant, so one day there was a Vastukar visited that particular restaurant, and they said that the whole restaurant is not compliant as per the Vastu rules. So they asked that particular owner to remove a particular wall and block a particular entrance. So they destroyed nearly the whole ice cream parlor in the bottom. Right. So modern Vastu is different. They don't really believe in demolishing anything. They always believe in balancing the energy. with the help of elements. Today we are going to learn about elements. So we will be understanding the elements because they are very, very important. Then we also need to know what is the importance of space. The space management is one of the very important aspect of the type of Vastu. So we need to know what is space management. Okay, so we will discuss on it in more options. We are going to discuss about them. Then we discussed about the rishi and their contribution. So who are rishi? So I believe that rishis are scientists. Right? They have left their family life. They went to jungles and they have done so many of researches. They have written multiple scriptures. And out of those scriptures, today we read and say something. People say, "Wow, you have such a good knowledge," but they don't know because they have not read the Upanishads or the sacred books which have been already introduced by the rishis. So that means there are so many things which have been written in the sacred scriptures which are there in India, and those sacred scriptures are in the form of Ayurveda, astrology, or even we say that Yoga Vidya. Yoga Vidya is like a Vidya which is coming from the meditation and all. And we all know that astrology or every item which is connected with some planets, that's why we have seen in some of the Vastu remedies, we also use gemstones and like this. Okay? The Ayurveda is like using certain objects which can really balance the negativity of your home by placing those things or by using in the Havana. So we discuss those things in the later stages. One of the Shastra has been also introduced by the rishis, which is Sangeet Shastra. So what is Sangeet Shastra? Sangeet Shastra is all about soothing the mind. Again, with the help of music, with the help of sound, we are balancing the environment of the house. Whenever we feel bad, right, we love to play a certain level of music. We feel really good. Right? Why that happen? Because every sound and every vibration have a different energy. Even we know that when we are chanting the mantras, so those mantras are also having certain vibrations. They have certain power, right? So even we know that when this whole universe is evolved, we have now know that universe has a sound which shows as Omkar. Omkar, right? If you can see so many YouTube videos and that you will able to find that universe has a sound which is Om. Okay? So that means sound is there right from the this whole universe has been created, right? So that means the Sangeet Shastra can also be used to balance the Vastu at your home. Then we discussed about the Vastu Shastra and different layers. As our body have skin, as our body has some clothes, and like that, our house is also covered with certain things. So our house is built up with certain materials. Those are also important. Somebody in the hills, they are building their home from wood. Somebody is there in the plain, they're building their homes from the concrete. Bricks, cement, the materials are different. So obviously the energy field will be different. Then we discussed about the atmosphere, the nearby area where we are living. What is the atmosphere nearby a house? That is also going to be impacted. If we say that person is living in an area, if we within 1 kilometer there is a burial ground. So that is one of the atmosphere which is going to impact that particular area in the house. If anybody is living in a house where within the kilometer there is a drain which is going on, again they will have an impact of that particular drain in the atmosphere and nearby to their area or a home. So those things can also impact. So those things in the Vastu we also need to see. A person is building a home nearby to river, which will be more better. A person is building a home nearby to drain. What do you think? right? So if you compare, you will understand the atmosphere is very, very important. Then we discussed about the space. What is space? The space is an area which is above the atmosphere, which is concluded of planet and nakshatras. So as we know that every planet and nakshatras are going to impact us and our home as well, right? We know that when and how the earthquake has happened, right? If you go to my YouTube channel, I've created a video, and from that video you will understand when there is an alignment of multiple planets with the earth, then and there is an earthquake is going to happen in the Prithvi or earth, right? The alignment of the planets. So these things really impact, but some people believe that there is no impact. But the planet and the nakshatra in the space, they also impact in the house or whatever the thing which we have made for living. Right? Then we discussed about the implementation of Vastu, where we are going to do it. The implementation of Vastu, we are going to do it in house, office, and industry. Right? This is what we have discussed. Then we discussed about, okay, let's understand about the correct direction. If you are a Vastukar, the first question maybe people will going to ask you that what is the correct direction where we should keep our head while we go to sleep. So we'll say you can keep your head in the south direction, which is the appropriate direction to get the proper sleep. So if anybody is putting their head in the northern direction, so in that case, he will be insomnia, or maybe he will have a bad sleep, or maybe he is not really properly relaxed or energized in the morning. He will be feeling sleepy or maybe tired. Right? So direction of Vastu and certain fields which really create a lots of impact. Then we try to understand that what type of problem this Vastu is going to really is going to fix. Right? We discussed about that. The Vastu is going to fix maybe the fortune. People will say that my fortune is not supporting me. Maybe I don't have any money. I'm unable to save the money. I am really low from the energy front. My neighbors are not supportive. I cannot progress without any skill. Health problems is stopping me to achieve any success. And family happiness. There are certain things which are like health problem, family happiness, business growth. These are the one of the things which are really requires an extra effort to really fix those things from the Vastu end. But yes, these problems can be taken care. But Vastu or any other divine science cannot do magic, but they do the balancing of the area where you are living. Right. So this is what we have discussed yesterday.